As we continue our dive into digital dementia, dementia-like symptoms primarily seen in adolescence, but the effects can be throughout any age group, right? And we're going to start to turn the corner a little bit. The first couple of weeks we talked a lot about the science behind, what technology does to our brains, and to our bodies, and to our health overall. And so now what we're going to start to do is, okay, how are we going to interact with technology in a healthy way, right? Like, how are we going to utilize this amazing opportunity that we have, right? Because one of the things I want to say right out of the bat as we start to transition into the tricks, techniques, and tips side of things, is that technology is not going away, and so we need to learn how to interact with it in a healthy way. One of the statistics that surprised me that I learned as I was going through and learning about technology and about its effects is, we can't say we're not going to utilize technology, and we can't say, I don't want uh, kids learning on technology. There is a lot of really good things that technology does. In fact, one of the studies that's been looked at is kids that utilize technology do have an higher IQ, right? They're a little bit, they can be smarter in a lot of ways, but they also tend to have a little bit lower EQ. So their emotional quotient isn't as good. They don't know how to interact. They don't know how to problem solve as well. And we talked a little bit about that because that's a lot of the that prefrontal cortex. So you can jam a lot of information in your head with technology, but you need to be able to process it and think through it and use logic to understand how the pieces fit. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about, or what are some of those tips and techniques. The other thing that I was surprising to learn, because I'm still kind of somewhat old school, technology, I didn't grow up with it. We did have a TV in my house, but we only had one channel, right? And so I grew up on a farm, and half the time that channel didn't even come in anyway. So technology was not really a big part of my life growing up. Now I use it all the time because it's so awesome. I can get so much more done. I can be more productive using technology. Um, uh, I I think there's a lot of good things. As an employer, though, one of the things that one of the stats that I read is that employers, unless a person, an applicant, has a presence on social media, they won't even interview them, right? So they want to know a little bit about the person before they even bring them in for an interview. And if they can't find anything, they don't bring them in. That was kind of surprising to me because, I'm kind of the old school. When social media first started coming out, it seemed like it was used as a gotcha moment, right? When you went for an interview, hey, we saw this on social media, so let's not hire this person, kind of thing. Nowadays, that presence does need to be there for a lot of employers in order to kind of move forward. And so, saying I'm not going to, utilize technology, I think is probably foolish in the first place because it's all around us and it's here to stay. And we've kind of dove head first into this technology world. But we need to do it safely and effectively, especially with kids. And so as we jump into the tips and techniques and strategies here, um, I'm going to cover a lot of territory. Um, we're going to give a lot of like specific little things or tidbits. I don't expect you to incorporate all of them, but if you can incorporate maybe 4, 5, 6, the more the better, right? But any one tip that you apply is going to help. And so the first tip I'm going to tell you is you probably don't want to be anti-technology because it just probably isn't going to end well. We're going to have to learn how to utilize it safely and effectively. So tune in next time as we start to dive into these tips and techniques and strategies. So thanks for joining us.